Of the many pictures of our past, probably one of my favorite is of an older gentleman from 1973 sitting in a folding chair with his hat on his knee, listening very intently. I love that picture because he is just the epitome of what we see in our students. Really inspired to be there, loving to be there, and listening really hard. And that's the really hallmark of our learners. They are excellent learners, they love to learn, and they are very inspiring.
Almost 82,000 students have graced St. Thomas classrooms in Selim Center programs over the past 40 years. The center's mission? To inspire passion for lifelong learning in adults age 50 and older. John Wolkerstorfer has been attending classes every semester since 2000.
I retired in the summer of 2000. In those first months, just trying to figure out what in the world I was going to be doing. Time just kind of went on and on. But in the fall of 2000, the Catholic paper, The Spirit, came out, and somewhere in the bottom of one of the pages was this little article about St. Thomas has classes for seniors. So I signed up, and since that time, I guess now I've taken over 50-some classes. I had my own, time to pick and choose what I wanted to go to, and that was kind of fun.
And now that John's wife Marilyn is retired too, they look forward to coming to classes together.
All of the presenters, to me, are just absolutely amazing at what they know and how they can share it with this audience of senior citizens.
The center was originally established as the Center for Senior Citizens Education in 1973 by Dr. Selim, a professor in the economics department. His educational vision focused on the right of every person to have access to quality education, regardless of age, and the university's responsibility to share its educational resources.
The knowledge is not reserved only for the young. The old have the right to have the kind of a culture, information that really would enrich their life, and not just to live, but to enrich their life.
The center began with just a single lecture series on retirement planning. But as the folks completed that program, they wanted more classes, and the center began to grow. The president of the university took notice.
Father Dees said the following: Mo, as you know, I run many programs, and sometimes I go to functions in relation to these programs. And suddenly I find myself surrounded by people that attend your program and want to talk about nothing but your program. And my answer, I'm sorry, Father, I didn't mean it that way.
In 2011, the university honored Dr. Selim for his educational vision by changing the name to the Selim Center for Learning in Later Years. The center now offers more than 200 hours of classes on topics that span the full range of a liberal arts education. The center also oversees the university's Go to College program, allowing Selim Center students to audit undergraduate classes. Pastor Willis Gilliard says a physics class he took had an impact on his grandchildren.
While taking that course at UST, I did all of the homework, I took all of the quizzes and the test. And I did this to demonstrate to my grandchildren that hard work and doing all of the things that are required of them in their classes will ensure them of success in their studies. I showed them my work, and it was kind of like an exhortation or even a dare. He said, well, if Grandpa can do this, you can do it better.
Dr. Ben Denkinger, a gerontological psychologist from Augsburg College, has taught in the center's program and says active learning supports healthy aging.
The factors that research has shown contributes to healthy aging primarily include being cognitively engaged and being really mentally stimulated as much as possible. It tends to show in all the research evidence that it protects against a huge range of mental illnesses, cognitive decline, and changes in our memory and intellectual skills. Most importantly, the more cognitively engaged you are, the less likely you are to have symptoms of things like Alzheimer's disease and dementia in late life.
Guests who come to the Selim Center programs discover that learning is fun, a great place to meet others, bring their friends, and share a good conversation. And one more benefit.
A number of participants in the program are married. And I know sometimes only one spouse goes to the program, sometimes both spouses. But I've heard many married couples say, you know, it gives everybody a chance to get out of the house and do their own thing. And I know when Dr. Selim received his award and the center was named, a number of people said to him, you know how many marriages you've saved?
Regardless of why they come, they do come. Last year, the Selim Center registered more than 2,200 guests with a satisfaction rating of 97%. The Selim Center students are models of lifelong learning and serve as stellar examples for younger students on campus. And our professors love to teach them.
There are unique challenges and rewards to teaching traditional undergraduates, but frankly, I like teaching these classes better than anything else I've ever done in my entire career. For one thing, these people are there to learn. They're there because they're interested in the subject. They're there not because they're preparing for any particular profession or because they need the knowledge that I'm giving, but simply because they're hungry for the information. And that hunger comes out in so many ways. Their attentiveness, their willingness to come there no matter what the weather, coming up to me during the break, coming up to me at the end of class, asking really interesting questions, contributing a lot. I feel that they draw more out of me and enrich my experience as a teacher more than anything else I've ever done.
Selim Center students affect the life of the university in other important ways. They attend lectures and performances on campus. They mingle with students in the Anderson Student Center. They visit our museum and art exhibits. They volunteer as jurors in mock trials at the law school and take part in research studies. Following Dr. Selim's retirement in 2004, Sister Marie Herbert Sider became center director.
The vitality and the enthusiasm and the intellectual engagement, the conversations, the discussions, the presentations were all wonderful, but I think the real benefit and advantage was when they were coming out on break or afterwards, where they would be deeply engaged in talking about what they had just heard or experienced.
After 40 years, the Selim Center for Learning in Later Years continues to offer high-quality educational opportunities for older adults. The classes and instructors make a lasting impression on the students, who make a lasting impression on the university.
In a university setting, I think what makes most sense is the lifelong learning piece. And for St. Thomas, lifelong learning is really advancing the mission, advancing the common good. I mean, 40 years of encouraging people to be lifelong learners, to me, is not only a responsibility of a university, but it's a wonderful way to carry out our mission for the community.
And the Selim Center, it looks forward to the next 40 years.